So this is Mr. Wynn, a geologist, and he is going to explain to us what fracking is.
Okay. In simple terms, what fracking is they will drill a hole in the ground. In a lot of cases, they'll go horizontal along a bed, and then they will inject sand and water and some chemicals under very high pressure that will go in, and it will actually crack the rock, and the sand particles will get between the rocks and open up the pore space to allow the oil to flow out. Allow the industry to go into places they've never been able to get oil out. And you guys are doing a report on natural gas. It really changed the way we did and explored for gas. And, it has led to a huge boom in production. For years, 10, 15 years, we've not been able to add any gas production, grow it at all. If anything, it's declining. And since about 2004 or 5, gas production is up like 25%. And, the places where they've fracked gas is probably going to end up being more like 50% of all gas produced in the United States. So,
Okay, great. And what are some of the dangers involved with fracking?
So I think every company needs to be cognizant of where they're drilling. Are they near an aquifer, and really understand that before they actually do the fracking. So probably contamination of aquifers is probably the first thing the industry needs to look at, or a company when they're doing something. And also, there are a lot more little earthquakes people are experiencing in places they've never felt them before, and whether it's accurate or not, they're attributing it maybe to fracking. Because you got to think about it, you're injecting a lot of stuff in, you're putting it under pressure, and you're cracking the rocks. And so it's possible that it's causing smaller earthquakes. Nothing that's going to cause damage, but it's a little unnerving that might actually be taking place. So I think those are two things.
But in your opinion, the benefits outweigh the negatives?
Yes, I think so. I think in the long run, at the moment, what we know about it, I think they do. I think there's a real chance to, you look at the cost of natural gas. Prior to the fracking boom, we were declining in production, and prices were spiking from, it's priced in 1,000 cubic feet. So gas is priced historically in say 2000 to 2008, gas went from about $2 an MCF to as high as $12 to $14. With the onset of fracking and increase in production, gas went from, so let's say $8 and $12 down to $2, and now it's around $4. So you've seen a real reduction in price, which is, to the consumer who uses natural gas, it's a real benefit. Is it sustainable? I think, clearly it's added a lot more supply to the market. That's lowered the price, and that's really good for what? It's good for manufacturing and industry that uses it. The power business, the manufacturing business, and it's actually helping us produce other products that we can export. So I think it's a real beneficial thing. But you got to take a lot of this with a grain of salt and understand it's a big industry, and they need to be cautious about how they go about it as well. You get an industry that learns so quickly that the learning curve is steep, and that's where you have chances for error. So you kind of have to be smart about it, and companies sometimes move faster than they move the industry faster than they are with their safety practices. So you just have to be smart about it. But I do think it's very beneficial to the country.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Wynn.
Ever falling down, 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 ever falling down, ever falling down, 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 ever falling down.
Oh God, here's a hobo. Hopefully he doesn't come up to my car window.
Sir, please, sir, could you spare me some change?
Get a job, you hobo. told you to buy the stock, not to sell it. What's gotten into you? No, I'll talk to you at another point. How about that?
Sir. Spare some change.
Good job. One, action.
Alright, spare some change, sir.
Hey, I'm trying to play some tennis here. Can you give us some peace?
Spare some change, sir.
No, you know what? I'm sick and tired of you people coming down here asking us for change. Why don't you go down to the natural gas site in our town and get yourself a well-paying job? They provide over 2,000 jobs a year for people like you. And then maybe, hey, one day you'll make enough money you can live in a place like this, Emerald Bay.
Shh.
Well, that's good.
Don't you just love the smell of natural gas?
Oh, I do.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Join me in the living room, will ya? This is my guard dog, Vanessa.
Vanessa, so lovely to see you. Your eyes look even better than before.
Oh, yes, hello.
Oh,
Good to see you, my friend. Pleased to make your
pleasure.
acquaintance.
Please, have a seat.
Thank you.
Don't you like what I've done with your place?
I do. Is this all natural gas renovation?
It is natural. The only kind of gas in this house. We're insanely rich.
What I meant to say is you started here 3 years ago.
Yes.
And you've been progressing quite nicely up through the ranks.
The social ladder.
And we were wondering, where do you see yourself?
Everywhere.
Interesting.
So, in a sense, what you're saying is you are natural gas?
I don't think I could put it any better myself. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Brilliant.
Someone was telling me a joke the other day and I just had to laugh about it. They said, so, I was having a meeting with the board of directors the other day and I noticed that we had a little extra cash lying around and we used it to buy another seat. And I was maybe thinking that your booty could fill that seat.
Son, let's not beat around the bush. How does $30 million a year sound?
Delightful.
Jonathan, thank you for meeting us down here again.
It's a pleasure to see you.
So I was thinking, now that you're part of the team, Corduroy, we would celebrate with some champagne.
Oh, you're too nice. You're too nice.
Yeah, it was fun, thank you.
Well, when I made my first million, the automobile wasn't even invented yet, and the prop plane was the only way to get around.
I'll tell you, me and the Wright brothers, we used to fly around 50 feet on the street to the bar. And let me tell you, the girls down there, they were smart.
That's right. Spanky used to make the meanest old-fashioned around.
We would go down to Miami and they tell you it can't snow in the summertime, but I'll tell you.
Oh, close.
No, please, let's celebrate.
Money.
Wealth and being us. Because we're better than everyone and we know it.
That's right.
For a second. I gotta go, let it all out.
P.
What the? What are you doing down there? Hey boys, come take a look at this. There's someone down there.
What? What? Who?
Well, I'll be damned.
Action.
Hey, wait a second.
guy?
That's the guy that spouted your change on me.
Rebel.
What happened to you?
I lost my job due to this natural gas company. I don't even have a job anymore because of these new natural gas cars. I was a Hummer dealer. Please help me. Can you get me back on my feet? Can you please help me? I'm sorry I was mean to you. Can you do anything for me?
Yeah, here, let me shower you off a little bit.
No, Jesus! Oh, God, the humanity!
So here we have our demand and supply graph of natural gas. If we promote domestic natural gas production, then our supply will shift to the right, which will decrease the price level and increase real gross domestic product, which would decrease unemployment, which would be great for our economy. Mr. Wynn discussed this a little bit in his video, and he talked about how promoting domestic natural gas production will shift the supply curve right, which will decrease prices, which is great for manufacturing and just the American economy as a whole.
Another economic concept we wish to look at is the exchange rate. If we're going to take a look at the quick graph, it's US dollars compared to Saudi Arabian rial as their currency, and we're going to take a look at the supply of the US dollar. Now, producing more natural gas at home is going to cause a supply shift left in our US currency due to the fact that we're not producing as much US dollars into that bank in the middle of the ocean as we've learned in economics class. So this is essentially going to be good for the US dollar because it's going to cause an appreciation if you look at the equilibrium points, and that'll sitting here with Junior Olivia Clark, and I have a quick question. What do you think the benefits are of decreasing foreign oil imports?
Well, the biggest benefit is that we're going to keep money out of the hands of countries that are not particularly favorable towards us. And in a sec, I'm going to pull up a graph of the countries that we import most from. Now, as you can see on this graph, we import from countries like Venezuela, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Algeria, Nigeria. And these countries are not my favorite country, and I don't really think we're theirs either. All right, thanks, JP. Yes, I'm Andrew Landseedel here. I'm a part of journalism. Well, I'm going to tell you about natural gas and foreign policy. If we can increase domestic natural gas production, then we can decrease our foreign oil imports, which will alleviate some of our military's need to have to secure energy supplies abroad in the Middle East, such as Afghanistan and Iraq. Hey, Chair, do you mind if I talk to you a little bit about iron triangles?
Of course, Troy. Well, your general iron triangle has three parts: your senator, your Senate committee, your bureaucracy, and your special interest group. And in our special case, we have Covanta Holdings, which is a clean energy business, as our special interest group, and they support our Senator Ron Wyden, who sits on the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. And essentially they donate to him, who he then favors legislation such as the Clean Energy Standard Act of 2012, which just basically requires more clean standards and supports businesses such as Covanta. And the U.S. Department of Energy is essentially the bureaucracy associated with following through of that clean energy standard.